We mentioned in last week's video that we were starting to become concerned with the overhead resistance that the S&P 500 was starting to run into. And subsequently, the S&P 500 failed at that resistance level and declined for 5 straight days. We also mentioned in last week's video that our concerns were starting to increase with the foreign markets. And there were a couple news events that we were going to be watching closely. And those news events confirmed our concerns. Stay tuned as we dig deeper into both the U.S. and foreign markets.
All of the major U.S. indexes were down over 2% last week, with the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones both down just about 2.2%, and the Russell 2000 was down over 4% last week. And if you haven't had a chance yet to watch our investment strategist's market analysis video from last week, he takes a deeper dive on the Russell 2000. Foreign and emerging market stocks were also down just about 2% last week, and now emerging markets are up about 6.6% for the year, foreign up just under 8% year to date. Today we're looking at a chart of the Dow Jones Transportation Index. And if you're not familiar with this tracks companies that ship goods and services throughout the United States. So the important level that we're looking at here is the blue box to the right, and that's a resistance zone from about 10,700 to 11,000. Now going back a little bit on the chart, in October and December of 2018, we saw this index come up and test that zone twice before the big sell-off happened in December. Now what we've seen since then is a sharp rebound off those December lows right to the bottom of this box. And subsequently, we've seen these companies and the Dow Transport drop for about 2 weeks now. So we're paying close attention here to this index because I mentioned earlier that the Dow Transports have been down for 2 straight weeks, whereas the other major US indexes have only been down for 1 week. So again, we're paying attention here to see if all these indexes can collectively bounce and rebound, or if the other US indexes are going to follow suit with the Dow Jones Transports and continue to fall.
The biggest news story from last week for the foreign markets was how is the European Central Bank going to guide their interest rate policies for the rest of the year? And what they did is they backed off their previous policy of increasing rates for 2019, and they're not going to look to raise rates for the rest of the year. Now they also slashed the growth forecast for the Eurozone from 1.7% growth for this year down to 1.1%. So this is just another reason that we need to monitor the European markets closely. We were also waiting for some economic decisions out of China last week, and they decided that they're going to stimulate the economy by cutting taxes and also increasing lending to small businesses. This, combined with the positive negotiations between the United States and China in regards to trade, could be good things for the Chinese markets for the rest of the year. And lastly, the U.S. job numbers came in for February, and they disappointed drastically. The economy only added 20,000 jobs in February. This is the biggest decline from a jobs numbers month to month since March of 2015.